Welcome, directors. It's a nice Wednesday night, 8 o'clock on the East Coast, 5 o'clock out west. Just want to do kind of a quick tutorial on Hold My Spot. I know I've touched on this a little bit last season. I had a video on this past summer, and just want to kind of touch back on it another time to ensure that new directors or any directors running local events feel comfortable with Hold My Spot. Just going to give it a minute or two here, see if we get anyone to join. Of course, we got Athena in there with a comment already. We got Daryl. Can always count on Daryl jumping in here and watching. This is also recorded on YouTube, so anybody that's not able to watch live will be able to go back and watch the Hold My Spot as well. Got Ginger jumping in. Just saw Ginger a couple days ago in New Mexico. Saw her on my flight home. All right, we'll go ahead and jump in to the Hold My Spot. A couple of topics we're going to touch on today. Do an introduction to Hold My Spot. We will look at enabling Hold My Spot for events, how you activate that, turn it on. We'll look at how players will use Hold My Spot and what that looks like from the player's view. Then we'll jump into an event and we will look at managing those players who are pre-registered. Talk about how you might handle no-shows and cancellations. Talk about a couple of best practices when it comes to Hold My Spot and managing those players. And then we'll touch on roll call and how that's used for directors and players both. Probably be a little bit of a quick one here. I do have some events pre-populated, and we'll take a look at those at the end. All right, so the introduction to Hold My Spot. Hold My Spot was designed and is used for ACL local events. Hold My Spot does support multiple event formats. The most popular local event that's used for directors is ACL Swap. This is where I think Hold My Spot shines and works the best. You can use Hold My Spot in a blind draw. You can use Hold My Spot for local doubles event and as well for local singles. What this is going to do, really helps directors manage the pre-registration process and keep an eye on what the event capacity might look like. It also streamlines the check-in process and reduces any last-minute walk-ups, giving players the ability to do that ahead of time. All right, when enabling Hold My Spot for events, this is going to be found in the event details. So you will first need to go into the event details, scroll down to the bottom, and select Hold My Spot status and turn that either to open or closed. When setting that to open, you will then need to select a maximum number of teams or players. If you have a limited number of boards, you want to keep that event to 10 players or 20 players, you can set that. If you don't have a max, you can scroll down and set that to maybe 128 or somewhere that players won't reach. You also need to select the payment type. You have 3 choices there. You can do cash only, you could do wallet only, or you can allow both. Once you have those 3 main selections done and you save, then the Hold My Spot will be open for your event. Now, how players are going to use Hold My Spot. Players are going to locate the event by selecting ACL events. They will set search parameters if they need. They will navigate down to that event and find the event dashboard. which will have the green button for hold my spot. Depending on the payment options you selected, the player can do cash, wallet, or both. And they will select the hold my spot button. And immediately they will see a confirmation message right there that shows them it was successful. All right. After players have used Hold My Spot, directors can then manage those pre-registered players. Inside the event, you will either be on the Setup Bracket tab or the Add Players tab, depending if this is a doubles, singles event, or a blind draw or swap. You will be able to see if players use their wallet to pay. You will also be able to see if a player had selected Hold My Spot and then had gone back and opted out. You will have an option to refund those players right there from the event itself, right back to the wallet they used for Hold My Spot. You will have the standard checkboxes where you can mark players paid cash or you can mark players checked in. You will be able to remove players from the event if needed, either doing a refund or just removing them. And you will be able to view all players and their current status in that event. And then we'll talk about handling the no-shows and the cancellations. This is where you can refund that player if applicable, depending on their wallet. You can remove player from the event to free up a spot. You will always want to communicate any type of cancellation policies you might have. Local events seem to have less of a cancellation policy, but if you have a no refund policy, that's important to communicate ahead of time. And then while you're at the event, players have used Hold My Spot. You want to find out who is actually there at the event. You can then use the check-in. And a couple of quick best practices before we jump into an event here. Using Hold My Spot really encourages players to register early. It allows them an easy way to pre-register for the event and will allow them to see who else is pre-registered for the event. Another best practice, especially when players are trying to use Hold My Spot, a lot of players generally on the iPhone have the user denied location. So you want to make sure you have those graphics on hand so you can help any players quickly alleviate and get rid of that error. If you are offering wallet payments, but you plan to pay out in cash, this is something to keep in mind. If you have enough players use wallet to where you don't have the cash on hand, you want to ensure that you plan for that. I've had events, local swaps, where more people use the wallet than anticipated, and it became a thing where I didn't have enough cash buy-ins to pay out. Now, in this sense, I asked the winners, hey, if you did use wallet to pay, do you mind having, wallet for your payouts? And you can do that through the local event. And another best practice is always sharing that roll call link with players. You can do that on Facebook. That link works well on Facebook. This way players can see who is currently registered and, it might entice them to register themselves. I'm going to jump out of here real quick. Jump into a couple of events I've got here. All right. First, we're going to look at enabling the Hold My Spot for your event. So I have a couple of events here. Scroll down to my events. I have a swap test and a doubles test, both on the list. You will go edit event details, and at the very bottom you will find the Hold My Spot information. So you will need to click on open or closed. If you want that open, you will need to select a max number of teams or players. And you will need to select the 3 options for payment. You can do cash only, wallet only, or cash or wallet. Once you have all 3 of those selected, you will update the event details. And now the Hold My Spot is active for that event. So here I will jump over to the player app. I will get logged in. Now on the player's view here, the player app, players will select ACL events. Depending on how far out that event is, the location, or the type of event, they may need to add some search filters or they may not. Here in our area, you can see there is some events out here. I have this doubles test and I have the swap test both. On the doubles test, I will click hold my spot. I will scroll down. I see there's a $1 fee per player. I can select cash or digital wallet. Now that it's a doubles event, I will be required also to select my doubles partner. So in this case, I will select digital wallet, and I'll go ahead and let Devin Harbaugh know that we are playing together. So I'll go ahead and select Devin and hold my spot. Now, as soon as a player selects hold my spot, right there you can see spots reserved, makes player feel confident that they're in. Players can also then view the roll call right from their player app where they can see who else is registered for that event. So now you can see that myself and Devin Harbaugh are registered and paid. You can see Athena and Josh Keck, they're checked in and they're registered. And you can see a couple other teams there are not quite ready. Now on the player side from the player app, I can go back to my landing page and I can now see that event is right here on top of my player app. I could select check in, or in this case, if I knew I was not going to go, I could select opt out. Okay, I'm going to confirm I want to opt out, and now I've opted out from that event. One more event real quick I'm going to do for the swap, and then we'll take a look at both of those from the admin side. So I have my doubles event on the player side. I also did a swap. I will select hold my spot right here. On the player side, I can see this one's also $1. I will go ahead and select digital wallet and hold my spot. Quickly, I can see I'm paid and my spot's reserved. This makes players feel very comfortable that they're all set to play. Player can then click on roll call and see who else might be registered. And here you can see, for whatever reason, a bunch of the ACL staff, they all decided to jump in my swap. So not sure if that's going to be a fun night or a work night. This is for players to see. Players can see this right from their player app. All right, back to the admin side. On the admin side, I can go into my doubles event, my dashboard here. This is where we're going to manage the players here. See, I've got Trey Ryder, Todd Kosicki, they've not checked in or paid yet. Asher Scola and Chris have not. So where you can see that Athena and Josh are checked in and paid. And you can see that I did pay, however, I opted out. And this opt-out button right here lets you see opted out. Now, directors can use the roll call as well. This black button right here. They can also see that I have opted out as I'm now highlighted in red as opted out. So what I will do on the director side to help manage this player myself, I will click the refund button. I've refunded that player. I got a successful message. And then I can go ahead and delete the player since they have opted out. Now this will update on the hold my spot. As soon as this timer on the top gets up to one full circle, you'll see any updates that need to happen. And there you go. Devin Harbaugh and myself have been removed from the roll call. So pretty simple, easy to manage, can be a great tool for directors. What I find it best at is actually for players to see who's coming to the event to help entice them. Now let's go ahead and close that event and we will take a look at my swap. On the director side, event dashboard, right here in the swap, you can see all of the players. Some are checked in. You can see at the bottom, this is where I paid with my wallet. From the swap, I can also go to roll call. And you can see the action here, same as the players from the director's side. Now, back to my player app. I'm going to go back to the home screen here. And I'm also going to opt out of this swap. Okay, pretty quick here. As this circles around on the roll call, you will see that I am now opted out, showing in red, but it's still showing me as paid. So on the admin side, I'm going to refresh the page, scroll down, look at my players, and see that I have opted out, but I still need to be refunded. So refund myself and pull myself out of the event. I did mention for local events, you can use this check-in message. This works well to identify who is in the building and has not checked in with you yet and can entice them to come up and pay. All right. And Daryl, couldn't agree with you more here. If I was playing with Devin, I'm sure he would carry me all night. So, honestly, quick tutorial here. I really use this at all of my local events. I put roll call up on my big screen TV. It gives players, the info. I also share this roll call link on Facebook regularly prior to the event to help entice players to come out and play. Jump off of that one, jump back to this one, and we're 20 minutes in and we're ready for the Q&A already. Let's see. Good question to start, Daryl. How many players and teams can be in a hold my spot bracket? That's a great question. If you are doing a bracketed event, yes, 64 would be the max. I ran a swap where I had 128 players, all using either hold my spot or checking in manually. In that swap, filled it up all the way to 128. You can go higher than that. If you're doing rounders or round robin, yes, that number can grow as high as you'd like. Now, bracketed events, you would have to stay at 64 players or 64 teams to avoid going into two brackets. Local events is not an easy way to go into two brackets at the moment. You could use a registration, but you wouldn't use hold my spot. I know a couple of people saw, Todd and Trey in there. See if they can get a win. This is actually set for tonight, so I'm going to send them an alert here pretty soon and see how their travel's going. Athena asked, let's see, what's my favorite part about Hold My Spot as a director? It's absolutely the roll call. I love the roll call feature. I think it's underused, whether that is just that directors don't know where to find it or how to use it. I think the roll call part about Hold My Spot really just helps players understand what's going on for that night. Like I said, sharing that link on Facebook works really well. It does not direct them directly to the event. It directs them to the roll call link itself. Aside from that, I mean, using the wallet, that's a pretty good feature. I have, like I said, got myself in a pickle where too many players use the wallet and I didn't have the cash on hand to pay out. So just, make sure if you are using wallet, you're ready for that to happen. But, players in our area, they like the wallet. And so for me, it's a great tool. What does the roll call look like if a player opts out? Does it show anything to show someone has opted out? Yes, so it does highlight that player's name in red to signify to the director and other players that, hey, that player has opted out. Now, on the director's side, we do need to go in and still remove them from the event, but they will be highlighted in red on the roll call page. So that's a great tool as a director as well to see even at the opens, for example, when we're running, maybe 300 player blind draw, we can always open up the roll call, keep that on our screen, and use that as a tool as opposed to scrolling down through the long list of players to find out who may have opted out. I just leave roll call open on one of my screens, and I can see right there every 30 seconds when that updates what new players have opted out. All right. Ginger, will hold my spot be available in the future for non-local events? That is a plan, Ginger. We are, of course, we've been talking about for a while, kind of integrating the difference between event registration and ACL events. Not only is that confusing on the player side, it's also confusing on the director side, right? So we want to get to a point where that is merged into just one central location where a player could use a hold my spot style registration, whether that might be for regionals, opens, or just a simple local swap night. So yes, the plan is to get all of that into a spot where players can then go in to see who else is registered for a regional weekend, who else is just registered for that local weeknight. So yes, definitely. Daryl, he likes both the wallet option and the roll call. More and more players are leaning towards using their wallets in our area. I do agree, Daryl, in our area as well. I know, excuse me, some players, we saw some on Facebook and whatnot over the weekend with the new deposit format. I assure you guys that is getting smoother already. That's not going to continue to be an option, so I don't want that to hinder us going forward. I know this past weekend it was new, and there's quite a bit of regionals and even the open where we were at where it tend to cause some frustration. But that's being worked on. I did a deposit myself this morning. It took 1 minute to get in there, and that's going to be the standard. So those frustrations, they won't stick around. And I think players really enjoy using the wallet. It's a smoother transaction, and there's also a safety feature when directors are carrying thousands of dollars in cash. If you can have that in the wallet, it seems to be a lot safer at the event. All right, Athena has a good question here. What would I do if a partner opts out and the other checks in? This can get kind of tricky, right? The roll call will show one player of the team opted out, and it will show one player checked in. So you're going to have to do some work as the director, to find out was that a mistake, right? Did the player accidentally opt out through the warning system, or does their teammate not have any idea that their teammate's not coming? So their teammate may have opted out, and there may be a player there that checked in expecting their partner to be there. If you're at the event, you're going to have to reach out to those players in person. If you see that happen maybe a day or two ahead of the event, you're going to have to reach out, through email or Facebook Messenger. But again, a great tool. Now the director will know ahead of time that something is going on with these players prior to the event. So a great way for us to kind of keep up on that. All right, good questions. We got a lot of questions. Usually I don't get this many questions. I'm feeling quite special today. All right, Ginger, I had used the wallet today and it was really smooth. However, I don't think they accept Amex. I do think that might be the case, Ginger. American Express, I know in Europe, Visa and MasterCard are not near as popular where American Express is. I know they were having some issues as well. So that's being worked on. Mhm. And Athena, another one here, Athena says, how easy is it to create sit and goes using Hold My Spot, the digital wallet? It's super easy. And at the opens this entire season, we are heading into open 9 now. Through the first 8 opens, we have ran, probably more than 100 sit and goes, all wallet only, no cash. So we're talking, maybe 1,000 players at the opens have played in a sit and go using wallet only and Hold My Spot. So we're not allowing them to come up to the director's table and register. We're not allowing them to pay cash. This is all through the player app, through Hold My Spot, and digital wallet only. And this has been smooth. It's a great training opportunity, obviously, for us as directors to help train players how to use that. We also come across the user denied location often, and this is a great opportunity for us to then help them on their iPhone or their Samsung figure out how to alleviate that. 701 Cornell says, hold my spots money for swap nights. I agree. Again, it's just being cautious on, if you're only using cash or wallet and how you want to figure that out. But, using cash only works great for hold my spot. You don't have to allow wallet. Just do cash only for your locals, and players can then, use the roll call and see who else is going. Chris Burrell, I did see this, message you put in the Facebook group. The auto check was disabled to hold my spot at the open. Yeah, so I also agree there. If you're on site and you use hold my spot, should that automatically check you in? Yeah, we're gonna have to kind of figure out, where this is best. If you're on site, maybe we need an auto check-in option. Some people running swap and they put this out a week ahead of time. They may not want the auto check-in, but I agree we need, to have both of those. And then Chris, I did see that message you put sometimes where you go and you're clicking on a player check-in and that may be erasing other check-ins. I've brought that up with IT. I'm not experiencing that. I don't see that at my local events, and I don't see that at the opens, but it looks like a couple directors are seeing that, just as you are. So, of course, we are looking at that. And, Daryl, those Sky Mile points, hey, I've got a visa through my airlines and I'm getting points every time. So, just got to get rid of the American Express. If any of you guys, want to test this out and you're on your phone now, you can actually go ahead. I have those events open. You just need to search, in the Portland, Oregon area, and you will find my test events. You can register there. You can check yourself in. If you do wallet, I assure you I will refund you. And I'll probably close those events here shortly. But if you guys want to check that out while you're on your phone, just search Portland and you will find those events pretty quickly and you can test it out. Now, of course, Athena's already in there. She won't be able to do that. Let me see if I can remove her from the swap. Jump back onto this screen. Hold my spot swap here. I pulled Athena out. And let's see, maybe someone. If you're going to come up from Arizona, I will give you a free entry. You're probably not going to like the weather. There was snow falling today, although it didn't stick. It's just wet out. See, coming up on next update here on roll call. See what happened. Nope, not quick enough. Not quick enough. Yes, and it was probably quite colder, I'm guessing, Ginger, up north where you are today. I guess it was mid-30s pretty much all day, but not enough snow or ice to stick anywhere. The other nice thing about the roll calls, it does give you a little information about the event there, how many players, what time it starts, and how much you put in the event details for the cost. I see Athena, she registered herself. Daryl's in there registered. So, you can see hold my spot does work pretty easy. It's just a matter of, training our players and getting a little more used to what that looks like on the ACL app versus, of course, compared to other apps that they use. So I think that's it for today. I'll go ahead and get you removed from that event. And If you guys have any further questions, reach out to me. Jump in the director's Facebook page. I try to get in there as many times a day as I can, and I have notifications on for that as well. So look forward to hearing from you there. Thanks.